nice to have you with us. The Royal Us, that is. Look what we've got now. Hawker Demon. A very old Airfix model and a lovely one. But tragically in a blister pack. I've had this for ages. I got it second hand anyway. It was all a bit tired and bashed up, so I think we can make this one without any hassle. Hopefully the markings will transfer across nicely. And the Hawker Demon is a splendid and very beautiful aircraft. I thought it was a bit nothingy when I bought it when I was about 9, because I was like that, and then I built it and I thought, God, this is superb. And I could start to see the dramatic monoplanes of the Second World War, the embryo of them in this, particularly when I'd just got the bottom wing on and not the top wing. Very, very ultra modern, so I like it a lot. But yeah, who blister pack? Did I say bubble pack? Bubble wrap? I don't know. This horrible thing, not good. I'm sure I've got in an old book somewhere something about how Hawker were using a series of sort of sister aircraft to kind of push the limits of understanding aerodynamics and things. I'll see if I can dig that out. Come on, and look at this while I make it. Day of the Triffids is on. What more could you ask for? So moving along rapidly, that stage is pretty quick, and I'm not doing the fiddly little bits right now, or at least not doing many of them, because I want to get it to a good stage and then spray it silver. And this has all been nice and quick. I checked I can get the little pilots in. I borrowed one from the Brewster Buffalo, and the propeller would spin, but it wouldn't sit sort of neatly. There was a wobble and a gap, and this is such a sleek looking vehicle. You've got to have that nose on to, nice and tight to give it the right shape. So that's where we're at the moment. Just a couple more bits to go on, and then a bit of a spray, and then try and get the top wing on. Always an issue. I was going to do the tension wires, but this is such a simple, straightforward model. I don't want any clutter at all. I think I've got another. I think we've got another one of it somewhere. So maybe another day I'll try and put the wires on, but not this one, not now. Let's keep it simple, and let's keep it to what I knew as a kid. Yeah, alright, it's nostalgia, I know. Yes, we're in the kitchen, but it gives us a rather tasteful stand. Sesame seed oil, I believe. Anyway, got that on, and some little props under the tail. Definitely time to spray it. Well, let's just keep the cultural theme going for a minute. I've had to abandon Day of the Triffids, but I'm now listening to The Origin of the Steampunk Genre of Science Fiction. Very interesting and very, I think, somewhat appropriate for an aircraft like this. Here's some top quality model manufacturing. That isn't glued to the wing. It's just balanced. Well done, Airfix of old. But I can't do it with the other one. You'll laugh, it's all gone wrong. I remember, and as ever, getting the top wing on is never the easiest thing in the world. And I had measured it, because I wasn't happy with the little grips I was using, and I thought, I know, this is the DVD player, and everything's just the right height, and I could just balance everything and so on and so forth. And I sat the aircraft down Can't quite see, but I sat the aircraft down slightly at an angle, and I could prop the wing up and place it just on the different points, and I could adjust very slightly. And I was thinking, oh, I haven't quite got enough light because it's one of those dull days, and so I put the torch down and I put it just about here, and I'll move that. And I put the torch down and it was almost perfect, and I gave the torch a tiny little push, and just as I was adjusting things, another one that's virtually put itself together, I was very pleased that the top wing went on okay. Particularly those inner struts and the forward ones, the forward pair, one on each side, were so well manufactured that they actually clipped in and didn't need gluing, which suggests I've got the top wing okay, particularly as I've had lifetime's trauma dealing with double wingers from an early age, particularly the Handley Page 0400. That one was a monster as a kid. But anyway, this one has done well for itself. I'm very, very surprised. We have just got the markings issue, which I will deal with shortly. Now, in fact, I know I said it in that update recently, but not everybody looks at those. Basically, the pack was very old, and the pack was split, and damp air had got in, and the markings would not come off the backing paper. Well, they would, but it came off in shreds. So I've got to come up with something else. I have looked on the internet, and I have seen some very, very lovely, very simple markings. So I'll go for something a bit like that, and we're nearly there. Oh, and a pilot's gone missing. I think he's been commandeered by Mini Meltdown's tractor collection, and I suspect he's driving a small tractor somewhere. So eventually he'll turn up, I'm sure, but for the time being we'll have our main pilot, and I'll see what I can cobble together out of the random collection I've got. I should have given this a black background, shouldn't I? But even that's shining. But it will show up somewhat. We'll get a sense of presence about the thing. I do like this aircraft. It is a beauty. I know there's at least one that's still flying, I'm pretty sure. I'd love to know how it would have fared in action. Let me know if it did actually see some goings on, because it was very experimental in some respects, and interesting to see what the results were. I suppose the results were the hurricane, weren't they? There we go. What a beauty. So far, so good. Famous last words. So we come to the markings, and there's been a hiccup, and that is that this pack had become unsealed. I mean, you won't see it now, but there were, you might be able to see a discoloration there, and I think some damp air had got in, and they haven't done well for themselves. And what's happened is anything red and yellow kind of fell apart in the water. So there was a bit of a struggle, and what I ended up doing was leaving everything in the little saucer and looking online, and I found a couple of pictures of this aircraft without the fancy patterns. I know there are many variations, but it didn't have those. It just had the roundels and the number, which was great. Now that fits in with my issue I have with top quality camouflage, and that is, it actually, when it's a great success, it breaks up the form of the vehicle. You can't actually see what you've got. I feel the same is similar with this, in that it is so much fun and rather jolly that it distracts your eye and draws your attention. So I ended up with a sharp knife and a pair of scissors, and I cut out the roundels. It must be something to do with the yellow that was the problem. And we've got this. And I was going to come up with a new stand idea, but that's taking too long. But here is our finished vehicle in simple terms. And I've got to admit, I rather like it. I can see what I've got here. Which means we've finished. We are done. All the parts are on, everything's coloured, and we've just lost basically the yellow and associated red and missing number there. We've got it there. And I rather like the red wheels. Sorry, I've had a bit of a cough lately. So there it is, and let's just look at it like that. What a fantastic thing that is. That is superb. Here comes the future, people. Which is an interesting thing that I just blurted out. Because it's either one of these or one of the single-seaters appears in the film Things to Come. Pre-war, I think it's 1936. Based on a novel. Not by a man named Lear. I've blocked his name out of my head saying that now. Anyway, so this was really perceived in its day as the cutting edge, the future, and to my mind it really was. So I am going to do a separate film about how futuristic this was, basically by looking at a discussion of this aircraft and its family, and how they were really pushing the boundaries at the time. And it is an old book from the period, so there will be no clever hindsight, nothing smart arse like that. And I'm rather looking forward to rereading this little section of the book, because it's rather fun. So give us a couple of days and hopefully we'll get that done as well. And yeah, it'd be nice to show you the photographs of the aircraft I saw without the jazzy markings, but life's too short for copyright, so we'll do without. But also, it's a really neat, very fine little model, and I really enjoyed making it. And I was just thinking, have I made one already? Oh, I might have. That kind of justifies doing it without too many red and orange bits. But have the eagle-eyed noticed I haven't done the tops of their flying helmets? So I'll have to get the brown paint out and the brush and do 2 tiny dots before we meet again. So thanks for watching, and see you again quite soon, I hope, so that we can have a look at the future. Here we go. Thanks for watching. Bye.